here we go then, video 2 of the day, second tag video of the day. This one is from, I've been tagged by NEStalgiaholic, who you may know as Gamester81, you almost certainly will know as Gamester81 in fact, also known as Star Wars Nut 77. Yes, he's got a lot of channels. John, you're greedy. Can't get my words out. Great channels. You if you know him as Gamester81, have a look at his other channels. They're good. They're worth subscribing. So yes, he's doing an 80s tag thing here, which is great because I love the 80s. Tagging can be a pain in the arse. You can get tagged and think, oh shit, I don't want to do that. But this, I am actually really pleased to have been tagged because I love the 80s. Though the actual questions are tricky, and I'm really having to think about it. Favourite 80s film? I have been really racking my brains. I love lots of 80s films. There are some great sci-fi films from the 80s which I really like, and then there are some just iconic 80s films that I really like, that are iconic because they're so representative of the 80s. And I mean, my first thought was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and then there was Breakfast Club, and then there was Empire Strikes Back, and then I was like, Aliens. I would have loved to have said Blade Runner, but that was from '79. And oh my, Buckaroo Banzai, Adventures in the, what is it, 8th Dimension or something. I love that film. It's terrible, but I think I'm going to settle for Red Dawn. It's a classic kind of cult, not everyone has seen it kind of film. One of those that maybe you saw as a kid and can't remember what it's called, and it's like your Brat Pack type. Charlie Sheen and numerous other people, what's his name? Forgotten. Russia and Cuba invade America, which I find kind of amusing. Fantastic, great, love it. I've probably changed my mind in 5 minutes. Favourite 80s TV show? Shit, I haven't actually thought of an answer for that one. I would say Starsky and Hutch, but that's 70s, so that can't be it. The Professionals, was that 80s? I don't know, that might have been 70s as well. Oh crap. I keep thinking of different shows, and they were like 70s and not 80s, or they were 90s and not 80s, you see. I want to say Twin Peaks, but that was 1990 I think, and I want to say Blake 7, but I think that started in the 70s. I'm pretty sure it ran through into the 80s, so I'm going to say Blake 7, or Doctor Who, but Doctor Who's like so many decades. Blake 7. Favourite 80s cartoon? Was this 70s or 80s? If it was 80s, it was very early 80s. Battle of the Planets. G-Force. Yes. That was like really early manga style anime thing. Part Japanese, part American, or maybe Japan. I don't know. It doesn't stand the test of time well. If you watch it now, it's pretty diabolical, but at the time it was fantastic. There was also this thing that was kind of similar called Space Sentinels, and I really don't remember very much about that at all, except there were these people up on a space station with this computer, hologram computer thing called Sentinel-1, and they could all change shapes. They changed into different animals or something, and it was kind of rubbish, but I liked it. Favourite 80s video game? Star Wars arcade game. The original Star Wars arcade game, not to be confused with your later Sega thing. Completely different. I've referred to it on numerous occasions. I've got a video of it on various different computers as well. So yes, Star Wars arcade by Atari. Favourite 80s toy line? Okay, I don't know if you had these in America. They were certainly popular in the UK. Pocketeers by Palitoy. If I can find a picture of them, I will put one on here. I had one. I had this little, it was like a fruit machine thing. They were like handheld games before you had electronic handheld games. They were like plastic mechanical things, and I had this fruit machine thing, and they were like football things and racing cars, and you know, they had mechanical mechanisms in them that made stuff move around, and mazes with balls in and all kinds of stuff. They were great. They were really popular. You used to take them to school and get them confiscated by the teacher because you weren't meant to have them in class. Yes, that would definitely be my favourite 80s thing. I would have said Scale Extric, but I didn't have one. They were expensive and we were poor. I did have this thing called a Matchbox Power Track. It was crap. It was like a much smaller Scale Extric thing. It was crap. Action Man was kind of naff. I had one of those. That in America is like the English equivalent of G.I. Joe, but better. I had a Scorpion tank for mine, which was kind of cool in that naff kind of way. 80s is so absolutely my favourite decade, just because I was growing up then, in my teens and whatever. There is a question there that hasn't been answered. I do want to answer, so it's like it's my one. Favourite music, favourite band, whatever. I'm going to answer that one, even though it wasn't asked. Gary Newman. English people of a certain age will know who that is. He was very, very popular throughout the 80s, and he still does music even now. Well, I say now, he hasn't done an album for about 3 years maybe. I haven't found his last album, but he does still do stuff. He still tours. I saw him playing live 4 or 5 years ago, no, 6, 7 years ago, and it was really quite embarrassing because he got recorded backing, including vocals. He did sing live, but he had recorded vocals as well, so if he had stopped singing, he could have still heard him singing, if you know what I mean. It was kind of like the Gary Newman karaoke show, which was a real shame. But he kind of had to, because his vocal style at that time, he had multi-tracked vocals on his albums, so he was just making his live show seem or sound the same as his albums, but really it was a bit disappointing. But in America you will probably only know him from one song. He had one hit over there called Cars back in 1980, I think it was. Definitely his biggest hit. I mean, that was #1 over here. Massive hit. He's re-released it umpteen different times, and he's just such an absolute icon of the 80s. I think anyone who 80s music is Gary Newman, absolutely, and he's been so influential. I mean, he's influenced so many different bands, 9 Inch Nails probably being the most obvious. And the funny thing is, his last album but one, where 9 Inch Nails were heavily influenced by him, he did this album called Pure, where he just basically ripped off the 9 Inch Nails sound wholesale, which I found very amusing. And it worked. It was his best album for a long time. I don't know what his most recent album is like. I must try and find it. I can't even remember what it's called. But there you go. That's my 80s tag video. I am now supposed to tag 5 people. I am going to, like on my other video, completely cop out for the same reason. It's not because I'm lazy, even though I am lazy. It is because I have this knack of tagging people who don't want to be tagged, and I don't like doing that. I feel bad if I tag someone who doesn't want to be in there, like, no, I don't want to do that, and I feel bad. So I'm going to say video responses. If you want to respond, add a video response, or even send the video response to NEStalgiaholic, because I don't know how many people are aware of that channel of John's, but you know, it deserves viewers, subscribers. So yes, if you don't want to respond here, respond there. Give him some support on that channel. I know he's got lots of support on his other channel, but give him some there as well, because it's a good channel. It's about nostalgia, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. Worth a look. So anyway, whatever you like. If you want to respond with whatever you like, wherever you like, because I'm just not gonna tag anyone. I don't know if this is going to become my general policy that I'm not going to tag anyone. I don't mind being tagged, but I don't like tagging people. Yes, so there. Sorry, John.
This and videos of other retro games in my collection and a video of my console and computer collection can be found on my YouTube channel, along with a link to my website retrogamingcollector.com, so take a look at that if you've got nothing better to do. Thank you for watching.